How many of you believe that this man was once a pastor, but now he no longer believes that God exists, and he's here on the Lucky Udo Experience to share his story? This is his story.
If there is God, what is this about this God? As I kept studying, I noticed that everything about Christ, everything about God, were all fictions. They created them to control people's mind, created them to control economy, created them to control culture. I have done dry fasting to a point where I had ghastly intestinal ulcer. If I were a father and my children come to me and keep asking me for things, I won't give them any condition, especially when I have everything. Do you know that I will have an opportunity? Someone will say, no, this guy is not a Christian, doesn't believe in God. Somebody who now said, I would have helped you, but because you don't believe in God, like, why not help me? Maybe that love you show me will prove to me that no, I think there is God.
Sir, looking at the way you're dressing right now, it is so difficult for anybody to believe that you were once a pastor. What exactly happened to you? Why are you now an atheist right now? Can you please tell the viewers your story?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, it's true. But I wasn't dressing like this before now. And let me quickly take you back to how it all started. You know, I started preaching at the age of 9. And I was born into a family of Christian. My mom was a Christian, but though my dad wasn't a church person, but he was a Christian. And it was a family of Assemblies of God. If you know Assemblies of God very well, I think it is known as one of the first Pentecostal church in Nigeria. I started preaching at the age of 9 in the children department. And, in Assemblies of God, then there's what they call the Children's Sunday. I remember that year, I will represent the children preaching to the adults. And it went on as a young boy. I started preaching and started going out for evangelism, telling people about Jesus Christ. So it's a whole lot of story. And telling people about Jesus Christ went on and on until when I was 18. Of course, in my secondary school, I was the FCS vice president. I wasn't just a church person. I was rooted in Christianity. I know a whole lot of Christians always tell me, oh, you never had an encounter with God, blah, blah, blah. But it is not true. I could remember so well whatever that is defined as having an encounter with God. I had all of this experience. I remember having maybe seeing a face in the dream, telling you go preach about Jesus Christ and all of that. So at the age of 18, when I left secondary school, there was a call. Let me just tell you that story. There was a call for missionaries. And that was when Assemblies of God, had that call for missionaries. I went to Lantern Pilgani as a missionary in 1998. If you know Peel very well, it's part of Plateau State. I represented Assemblies of God there. We were 2. Planted a church. As of 1998, we were running 2 services then. So I when it comes to having an encounter with God, I knew everything about that. And of course, from Assemblies of God, when I returned back in 2009, I felt it was time up with Assemblies of God. There's something about life. When you are on a journey, if you're a curious person, you want to know, you want to learn. And when I was even in the mission field, there were materials I was reading. If you remember then, men like Idahosa, men like Benihi, men like Oyedipo, were springing forth, and I love Abioye so much. So I used to read Abioye's material, and it was from there I felt Assemblies of God good, but there was more to God. I was just looking for God, hungry for God. So I had to leave Assemblies of God, and in 2000 I joined another ministry, Glorious Church Assembly. The man submitted to Bishop Oyedipo. I remember Bishop Oyedipo writing to me then inviting me for Wolfby when Wolfby started. So, and it was from there in 2008, I joined Dunamis Church. I went through the Bible school, and I became a pastor in 2010. So all of that, Christianity was a good journey. But today, I think I'm no more a Christian. Anything God, I don't believe there is God.
I'm curious to know what exactly happened. I mean, somebody who started preaching at the age of 9.
Yeah.
What changed about you? You said God used to appear to you, in the dream to go preach. And you also at some point became a head pastor.
Yes.
Can you explain everything in details? I need to understand what went wrong.
I know we have a very short time, but I will do my best to summarize. If you understand what we call environmental impact and influence, if you are in a place where, like for instance, like the family I was born into, the picture they painted about God, those were the activities. The picture they painted about God, the picture men of God spoke about God. These were the things that, as young people, we started experiencing them even in our dreams. Like having, and we come out to tell people, oh, we had an encounter with Christ. Like the last place of my assignment, I was running 5 services on Sunday and 2 services on Wednesday. So when it comes to having an encounter with God, studying the Bible, I remember buying Maurice Cellulo's Bible for 50,000. Then it was very, very expensive for anybody to even afford. But I was this type that want to know, if there is God, what is this about this God? I had to study. At one point, I was reading the book, the New Testament, back to back, from Matthew to Revelation. I love the Old Testament because I understood about the Mosaic operation. I wanted to know much about Christ. Who is this Christ? As I kept studying, I noticed that, everything about Christ, everything about God, were all fictions. So beautiful. If you read the story about Christ, so beautiful, but it couldn't exist out of the pages of the Bible. It's just within the pages of anything out of the pages of the Bible, it doesn't really have effect or impact. And that was how I said no. There's something about me. I don't deceive myself. No. Whatever I do, I love to tell myself the truth. At that point, I knew that I was at the back door. I knew that Christianity for me was a no. Not just Christianity, anything religion. God, I discovered human beings created these things. They created them to control people's mind, created them to control economy, created them to control culture. There is no God anywhere. Human beings created this narrative. So when I saw that, I knew. Even the so-called encounter were things that the environment is just like when you are if you watch, as children, when you watch horror movies, if you're not careful at night, you see, the horror movie experience in your dreams. That was what happened, that environmental influence. And that was what, as a young person, I thought it was an encounter. And a whole lot of Christians always parade themselves with, we had an encounter with Christ. Until you begin to object and scrutinize what they call encounter, you discover it is just vague. There's nothing there.
Now, I want to ask a question.
Yeah.
How long were you a pastor?
Okay. Yes, I was a pastor for 20 years.
20.
That is, like I said, I've worked in 3 different churches, Assemblies of God, another Glorious Church Assembly, the last Dunamis. So, cumulatively.
Okay, so how many people would you say you brought to Christ?
Wow, I can't count. Because, like I told you, from my cradle, I started preaching. And even in Assemblies of God, I founded what we call the Young Fishermen. We used to go, to Benue State then. We used to go to villages to preach to people. And like I told you, in 1998, I was a missionary. Assemblies, one thing about Assemblies of God is when they are sending you to the mission field, they don't send you to where there's a church. You have to start from zero. And we started from zero, got members and all of that. Before we left, we were sent there too. Before we left there in 1998, we were already running 2 services. So if you look at that, until I joined Glorious Church Assembly again, until Dunamis, preaching 5 services, I was in charge of their production. I pioneered their production. Anything production of Dunamis Church, I pioneered it. So
What do you mean production?
Their messages, the Dunamis messages, Dr. Paul and Enches messages. I first transcribed when I got there. I was employed as a production assistant. It was that same month the production manager resigned.
What's production? I don't understand production.
Okay, we produce CDs,
Okay.
DVD, VCD, then of course VHS. But when because of innovation and all of that, so when I got there, we had to convert. I had to convert VHS to DVDs. You know, I was even doing the MP3s, all his messages in one that he preached in a month in one CD, and all of that. So when it comes to how many people have converted, I can't just count. And that's why for me, I use my energy, my strength to tell people it is time to deconstruct. It is time to review whatever you were taught or you were told, to really wake up.
At which point did you realize that all this is fiction, according to you?
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
No. It is cumulative. Like, let me tell you, I was born in a Pentecostal family. Assemblies of God. If you know Assemblies of God, it's a Pentecostal family. They speak in tongues, and if you study church history, Pentecostalism started with William Seymour, the black man with one eye. When you see that, I followed that trend in Assemblies of God. Then the women sit separate, the men sit separate. As a young boy, I was curious. Why is it that everything about church have to be you monitored? If you do anything, they suspend you. So at that point,
were you suspended for something?
No, I was one of the. Let me tell you. Let me shock you.
Because I'm just curious to know.
You know, because of me in Assemblies of God, many people went into ministry. That is, they saw my people, young people. I was a role model.
Good.
Yeah.
But at which point?
That's why I said it is.
There's
cumulative.
Always that point. Do you understand? Yeah. There's always that date. There's always that moment, that experience that changes you. That you have that paradigm shift.
Okay, let me tell you. Like I told you, it is cumulative. Let me tell you. When I was in Assemblies of God, I thought there was more to God. I exited from Assemblies of God. The journey started like that. That's as I was searching. What is really special? What is God? Who is God? Now, in the year 2000, like I told you, I was in the Glorious Church Assembly. At that point, there was what we call apostolic reformation. There was an introduction of talking about end time and God restoring truth, the fivefold ministry, the apostle, prophet, pastors, teachers, and all of that to the body of Christ. At that point, I started talking about the prophetic and the grace message. I left that Glorious Church Assembly because I felt there's still more. It was then, I think, there was a point I stopped going to church because I felt there's more. I stopped going to church, but I was still studying the Bible, believing in Jesus Christ. Now, when I now joined Dunamis in 2008, I still was looking for God until in 2018, I said to myself, everything I've been searching, I kept searching and searching. I found nothing. I was told God is my father. God loves me. He loves everybody. But I've not seen, like, I'm a father too. I've not seen the impact of the relationship of a God being a father to human beings. And it was at that point I said, no, I shouldn't keep deceiving myself. It was at that point, 2018. Of course, I resigned. I resigned from Dunamis Church. I resigned. After my resignation, it was part of why I resigned. I resigned, and the next thing was I was just shutting the doors.
Were you looking for something from God that you never got?
Not really. Let me tell you.
I'm trying to understand.
Let me tell you. It may be. Just let me tell you. As a pastor, I was one of the most privileged pastors. If you call results, if there's anything called resort, ministry resort, I was posted to a location within 2 years. I was doing 5 services. I have like 2 cars or 3 cars. I was teaching in Bible school. So when you call anything resort, I had resort. If you said a relationship with your GO, I was if you're counting 5 pastors that had great relationship with their father and the Lord, I was among them. So I wasn't really. Most times when people say write whatever you want from God, what I usually write is, God, I want to know you more, because for me, material things were not really my problems.
I never said it was. I'm just trying to. You mentioned something that the God's relationship with his children was something that you never really understood.
Yeah.
And that kind of just made you give up on Christianity.
Yeah. Yes.
Was
okay.
there something specifically you were seeking from God? I mean, we all have things. Let me say something. Someone who doesn't have much problems in life would never come to this position where they feel like God doesn't exist, to be very honest.
Okay.
A person who has his family together, they are all healthy, they go to school, they graduate very well, they start a business, is successful, they get a job, everything is fine for them. Do you think they'll ever come to the point where they even have to think or be worried if God exists?
Yes.
It's not their problem.
It is.
Tell me.
No, let me tell you.
How is somebody who is totally fine be worried?
No, you see, at the point of knowledge, inquisitiveness, let me tell you something. As a person, I had everything, but there was a vacuum inside.
What vacuum?
The vacuum was this description, this narrative that was painted. It's not the same. It doesn't match up with the reality I see. For instance, let me give you an instance. As a pastor, you have meeting on Sunday, you preach, people come, you tell them God does miracle, and at the end of the day, you see people go home sick. I've carried children in my hand that at the end of the day, they're unalive. And I prayed, earnestly prayed. I have done dry fasting to a point where I had ghastly intestinal ulcer, 7 days dry and all of that. And I started thinking, if I were a father and my children come to me and keep asking me for things, I won't give them any condition, especially when I have everything. I should be able to meet the needs of my children. So as a pastor, if you understand, that's what we call the burden of a pastor. If you see most of these pastors that pray for people, especially those that look sincere, that pray for people, most times it is not their problem, it's people's problem. Like me, I never, while I was pastoring, I wasn't really bothered about anything because I could access anything I want. But when I see people, the human beings around me, and I see how they struggle, and they still call on God, and God still fill them, that stirred my curiosity to search, is there truly this God? And to be honest with you, I saw the back door. No God exists. And I stand to be not just corrected, I stand to be challenged. If you can prove with any factual or anything, let's go.
I'm going to read a message a staff of mine sent to me this morning, because I'm going through a lot of stress right now. And if you're on social media, I'm sure you have heard what is going on. So, do you mind if I read it?
Please go ahead.
She was like, boss, this is to remind you that even if you can't feel it, God is with you. He's present. He sees your pains and your struggles. And if you let him, he will comfort you. God has a track record of keeping quiet in moments like this. You will even doubt his existence at some point. And he has been this way millions of years before we were born. Job was a faithful servant of God, yet he languished in affliction for several years. How about the children of Israel that spent 40 years in slavery? All the while they had a God they never stopped worshipping or calling. Joseph was also locked up for 12 years for a crime he didn't commit, and during that time he never stopped calling God. Boss, I know you have a lot of questions you want to ask God, but the honest truth is he's not going to answer any of it. I don't know why. Maybe because he's an unquestionable God. I don't know. But God has a history of keeping quiet in these kinds of moments. So I think she went on to say, trust him even though it's difficult to trust him. Let me see if there's something else that I hear that is important. In the mean about I thought he was quiet. Remind you also going he's the middle. Okay. So she added some other encouragement.
Yeah.
And to be honest, this actually made me think. From what we've seen in the Bible, God has a history of actually keeping quiet, to be very honest. And some of the bad things that happens in this world, we cannot even explain why these things happen. Even when there's a God, we continue to give all of the glory. It doesn't make sense. Now, in that moment of your thought process, did you try to speak to somebody, maybe a pastor that is an elder person, somebody who also might have had the same thought too, and maybe found some answers through it? Or did you just make your decision, impulsive decision?
No, it's not impulsive. You see, while we were reading that, I felt so concerned. Why did I use that word? You see, Christianity or religion creates an illusional hope. I'm on camera now. Yes, an illusional hope. Let me tell you. We have all passed through that. If you, some people don't. I tell people, when you go through challenges, the human nature wants some consolation, some people identifying with their pain and letting them know that whatever you are going through, you will come out strong. Now, the writers of the Bible understood that these were great scholars, and for me, I give it to them, but they never saw this generation coming. Because, look, whatever they told you, whatever that staff of yours put there, does not negate the fact before you. Now, whatever hope, whatever consolation she's giving you is actually illusional until you are confronted with reality. Let me give you an instance. For instance, you went to the hospital and the doctor told you you have somebody have typhoid. Now, whatever consolation I get, either from family, from friends, it does not negate the reality. It does not negate the fact that there's a sickness.
Of course,
and I must get the proper treatment.
True.
For instance, when I saw the allegation against you, for me, who is Lucky? I have seen your platform. I've seen you several times, and from afar. But what did I do? I had to sit down and decode. Who is this person? Can this person do this, do that? When I came to a conclusion, I just trash it. That's how life works. Now, of course, on your part, you as a human being, there's always that point of pain, that point of betrayal. People trying to mess up a platform you've built. And of course, when I came in here, it was wow for me. Apart from one other studio I've been to, this is, for me, one of the biggest studio in Abuja. So when people come for your brand like that, I know it's painful. But the truth is that whatever consolation anybody is giving you does not negate the reality. The reality is that somebody said something about you that is not true. The reality is that you need to put up all the facts to counter it and let this person know, let the whole world know that this person lied. The other option is to ignore. So whatever, and that's what, back to what you told me, whether I discuss with people, there's nobody. You see, as people watch this video, they will tell you, there's no pastor in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, either directly or indirectly, have not read his or her material.
It's not about reading. Sometimes.
No, I'm coming. Or even engaging. I've had, well, at that point of exiting Christianity, I've had a meeting with Abel Damina. Of course, one major person that inspired me at that point of exiting was Miles Muro, his teachings on the kingdom. Because the whole thought about creation and all of that, Miles Muro is one preacher in this world that was able to capture the Bible to a point where it could make sense. I'm not joking. You can go do your findings. Miles Muro, there is no preacher in the whole world that was able to capture the narrative of the Bible that made sense when it talks about the kingdom. Jesus Christ, God bringing a kingdom on earth. Now, I was a good student of Miles Muro. So it was not like I had no answers, but those answers were not real. Like I told you, I was very close to my Oga then. I could go to his house. I could go to his office. I had access. I have, at the point of exit, I had meeting with Dr. Abel Damina at...
Did you speak to anyone about all those questions?
Of course.
You spoke to people?
Yes, they had no answer.
They were never able to provide you sufficient.
They don't even have it. It's not sufficient. It's just like, before you came, I was laughing, There was a guy one day, the guy called for interview like yours, and he was talking about, he said it's going to be like a debate. He will be on the side that there's God, and I'll be on the side that there's no God. And at the end of the day, I think the guy shifted. He had to join me. But because, you see, whatever we say that look nice and sweet, maybe because of our upbringing, because of our environment, when we are confronted with reality, everything we drop. Everything. It's just like, sorry, let me give you an example. We are here in this room, and somebody step in here and want to pour you hot water. You won't say in the name of Jesus, stop it. What will you do? You react.
I'll run away, defend myself.
No, come on. So that's reality. That's reality.
I know, but this doesn't, when you say there's not God, I feel like it's from your perspective, from your experience, you are drawing a conclusion like this. And I don't think anybody should be mad at this man, honestly. I don't think so.
Wait, before I understand your point. I know you are a Christian. I've gone through your, before, as you invited me, I had to go through your videos.
Yeah.
So I know your background. So don't draw, it's not a personal experience. To be honest with you, let me be frank. I throw a challenge at you or at any Christian person to convince us. Whatever conviction you are going to bring out only thrives on faith and belief, not on reality. The human life, when I came in, you weren't here. I saw when you drove in. You didn't appear. You drove. It's a fact. It's a real activity that happened.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Whatever discussion you are having about God only exists within the pages of the Bible. Outside the Bible, the story of how Noah built an ark, the story of how Philip disappeared, all the miracles exist only in that Bible. Outside that Bible, reality. Reality.
Yeah, what I'm trying to deduce from everything you're saying is that I understand sometimes the human mind cannot comprehend how God exists. People say that He's the beginning and the ending. And, if there is someone like God who actually created in the first place, there are so many questions that people ask and they don't get answer from. And then when people ask those questions, sometimes elders will tell them to stop asking questions like this, I'm thinking that maybe your own experience is tied to something similar. What your mind couldn't comprehend, you then decided to conclude.
I'm sorry for interjection, but let me be very honest with you.
Yes, sir.
I wish my mind could be opened, like in X-ray. You just place the machine on your chest.
Yes.
You see, I'm one of the folks that are that is very open for learning. When I mean learning, I'm a very good student, and I used to tell people that I come across, I say my loyalty is earned. You earn my loyalty. If you want me to be your student, you must be my teacher. If I know more than you, can't teach me. Now, when it comes to the issue of God is self-sufficient, He created everything. All of this is just grammar. There's nothing to make it make sense. I like, as you're telling me, it looks so beautiful. I was in a space where we were talking about God. And I asked a Christian, it's a very simple question. You said, God created me. Who created God? Of course, we always give that, we always turn to that spokesperson that speak on behalf of God. But the reality is, and the fact is, all of these are just fictions, stories, just like as we were growing up, they told us the tale by moonlight. These were all stories concocted to control the human nature and the human, and they've been able to do it.
Okay, now let me ask something. You believe that all the stories in the Bible were created to control society, culture, and human behavior.
Yes.
What has changed about you since you stopped believing that there's God?
Let me even make it clear. I don't even believe in belief, but what has changed a lot? My thought pattern, for instance, my life is more factual, more real.
Okay, like how has this other also influenced other things about your life?
Like what?
I don't know, maybe your health, your finance, your happiness,
Okay.
your activities, how you relate to people, your judgment about what is good and bad,
Okay.
you know.
When I left, a whole lot happened. Divorce came in.
Oh, you had a divorce.
Oh man, I had a divorce,
Oh,
man,
so
a big one.
sorry.
I had 5 kids. I still have 5 children, and divorce happened. Courtesy of the Christian people, they tried to influence my family to prove a point that this guy left and he's struggling. Now, one thing I notice about Christians, I don't know the category you belong, but most of the category I have met and I've seen, anytime you are not a Christian, they want to let you know that the bad thing that happened to you is because you are not a Christian. So when I left, they had to instigate. I remember when I and my ex-wife were going through the court proceeding for divorce. In the customary court, they have 3 judges. One of the judges told me that if you reconcile with your boss, your spiritual father, this divorce will not happen. So for me, of course that happened. Some of these things happened. I went to prison, which led to going to prison.
You went to prison?
Yeah.
For what?
They said I defamed the man of God.
How long were you there?
Okay, I Suleja prison. I spent 1 week. Just remind.
Okay.
Just remind. I spent 1 week. I came out, and I spent another one. I spent 2 weeks. I came out. Of course, this year I spent almost a month, and I came out again. So for me, when and let me be honest with you, whatever that is happening to me or whatever situation I have been through has made me to understand human the more, and it made me to understand that Christians only defend God. And when, for instance, in those days, if you rewind, while in the 2000, they will tell you, "Touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm." That was a major slogan that they used that to terrorize us, not to even speak against men of God. If you are in a family meeting and maybe you are gossiping with your friend and you are talking about a pastor, say, "No, me, I don't want God's judgment to come on me." But in this generation, they know that doesn't work. So what they resort to now, most of these pastors, is to use police, and they'll tell you defamation.
Now,
So,
defamation, I mean, did you say something about God, or you said something about somebody's character?
for me, it's for them to prove, because all the arrests that happened, they couldn't prove. The first arrest, they said I should come for us to settle, and of course, the second one, they called for us to settle. This third one, I'm waiting for them to come prove where I defamed. To be honest with you, I'm a very objective person. So if I see blue, I'll tell you blue. And if they can prove, I told them I'm not afraid. Nobody. And if you look at the recent happenings, people saying churches, Christians are being persecuted, I laugh. As a matter of fact, in this generation, it's Christians that are persecuting people now. It is not even Christians that are being persecuted. But like I told you, my life has been so better now. I love more. You know why I love? Because I'm a human being. I don't love because God asked me to love. I don't love because of the fear of hell or heaven. I love because I'm a human being.
So when you were a Christian, you weren't loving this much?
Oh, to be honest with you, I think I had these features in me. Let me give you an instance. In 2018, armed robbers robbed me. I had the robbery took place in the morning, early hours of Saturday morning, and I used to have a meeting called the Prayers of Hannah, 6:30 a.m. That robbery took place. I still went for that meeting. I preached like never before. The church members never knew. It was at the tail end of the meeting. I told them, "Church, I got robbed this morning." I'm like, "Wow, are you sure?" And I told them, the robbers, I love them. They only acted based on their level of knowledge. If they knew better, they wouldn't do what they did. And if I told them, if I see them now, I will embrace them. That's how I approached life when I was a Christian, and it has not even changed. Right now, I love more because I understood that life thrives better when we live together. All the walls we build and all the divisions will not help us. So for me, even people that have offended me, that led to my divorce and all of that, destroyed the marriage, I don't have anything against them. I love them. I love them. So for me, Christianity creates hypocrites. I've not seen Christians that are really Christians. It is when you see, as you are, make I push you. Oh, man, nobody go tell you before you go call police from you. All these pastors, as you see them, I may not even insult you. They just push you. So most, I like I said, Christianity breed hypocrites. They are not real. Not real.
I feel like that's individual, right? I mean, look at. I don't even know where to even say this from. We are all. I'm sure you've gone through this life and you've offended people.
Yeah.
And people have had to use you as an example of a bad Christian. You might not know, they might not have said it to your face, but that is just you being a human. But because you're a Christian, they want to rub it to whatever it is you're doing. For example, I should have a personal fight with somebody. Even if it's justified, people want to attach me as a social media personality to a fight that I would have done even if I wasn't who I was. Mm. I don't know if you understand.
Perfect.
So, maybe in that case, that's the way I'm seeing it. But you know what, sir? I'm worried.
Okay.
Do you understand me? And I still think that whether you believe God exists or not, somehow He still even maybe looks after you. but it's okay to be in this moment.
No. You see,
sir, it's very, very okay to be in this moment from your personal experience.
Lucky.
No, this is your personal experience.
No, it's not. Okay. Let me give you an
instance. It's either a spell has been placed on you.
You see now.
Number one.
You see.
Or number two.
Okay.
You have convictions from everything you've experienced to believe and conclude that God doesn't exist.
Let me say something. As we are all here, whatever we have experienced or whatever story we are telling, to a large extent, is as a result of our environment. Mr. Lucky, you are here as a Christian. If you were born in China, you may not, or Japan, you may not be saying the same church thing.
No.
I'm just giving.
This is not about Christianity.
No. It is because you said something. You mentioned. When you see me talking like that, or like the way I'm talking, it looks strange to you. And the reason why it is strange to you, you even just said that as if a spell has been cast, is because most times our environment gives us a narrative that makes it look like this is how life should be. But
I agree with what you just said. Can I say something?
Yes.
In the midst of everything happening to me, I am pained for so many reasons. And one of those reasons was the fact that I went out of my way for people who right now are saying false things about me. And then when I began to trace why I even made those decisions, which right now I would never have made. Environment. I grew up and attended churches where pastors always preach about giving, helping people. That the more you help people, the more you are helping God, and God is going to help you. And I grew as somebody that God answered, like almost every prayer I ever made in my life, God answered it. I felt like I owed God something. I felt like I owed the universe something. So everywhere I went, I was putting everything I had personally, trying to help people. But to what end? So when I started facing all those challenges, I had to trace back, and I discovered that the pastors who used to preach to me, as at that point in my life where I was really young and unexposed, were only preaching, about giving and giving. They were not being real about the way the world is. It's not like today now where we have access to social media and we can see a pastor talking about look out for yourself. You can see a pastor talking about it is not everybody you help. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
You see a pastor trying to, talk about personal development, talking about how real the world is, and so many things like that. So somehow I understand what you mean when you say you are a result of your environment. Now, when you say that if I was born in China, there's a high chance that I wouldn't be a Christian, and that is right. What I want you to understand is that we don't advertise our religion by wearing labels.
Okay, but
we do it by living a life.
Now,
what is religion? Religion is like different channels, okay, that is connecting us to the same God.
Okay.
The same God is called different names. People meet him through different means. Do you understand me? There are some people that have to break coconut just to meet God. Some people have to sing praise and worship. Some people believe they don't have to play instruments to meet God. But you see, I don't see it about Christianity, traditional worship. I just feel like these are different means to meet the same God. That is my own personal belief. And that is why I don't discriminate.
Okay. Now, let me tell you. I don't discriminate, but this is what I do. I don't deceive myself. And I don't help people to deceive themselves. Let me give you. I know you may not. You may not. You don't need to believe in what I'm saying. But this is what I would say. When you share that story about growing up in a place where you were taught to forgive, to touch people's life. When you touch people's life, you are touching God. Let me be very honest with you. That teaching, according to the Bible, is real. If you want to be a Christian, like I did on my Facebook wall, I did a live section, and it was like a Christian. Christians in Nigeria are truly being persecuted, and somebody wrote on the comment section that persecution is even part of Christianity, because if you look, Jesus said that those that will make heaven or the kingdom, we have everything and persecution. Persecution is part of the package. And if you look, he said, "Blessed are you that you're being persecuted, and men speak ill against you. For yours is the kingdom of God." Now, if you look at what you are going through, if I were in your shoe, I'm speaking out of sympathy and empathy now. To be honest with you, I'm being honest.
I feel like you're preaching already.
No. To be honest with you now, I'll forgive Sky B. I'll forgive damn all of them. You know why? Let me tell you why. The energy we spend trying to explain that we are right, we save that energy and move on. You know why? Let me tell you. You have a brand. You are protecting. The people that love you are greater than those that are against you, that don't even see. You should know. There's something I talk about when I talk about human behavior. There's something. What Lucky is doing is a threat to somebody. And that's why they are doing what they are doing. So if you are, this energy, when you step in, I wish this is even behind the scene. I said, what did you do? That energy, say we just do something that, you see, the worst you can do to people that hate you is to do the opposite. You give them headache because they want attention and you're giving them attention. Jesus Christ, the question I will ask you, Mr. Lucky, what will Jesus do?
Now, you see,
I'm preaching to you there.
Yeah, even at some point, Jesus took action.
Which action?
He flogged people in church.
They flogged. Wait. They flog in church. Now they flog in church. On what? Anytime this is what I tell people. Anytime you are reading the Bible, even though I'm an ex-pastor, you look at context and content. Okay. On what content and context? He flogged them because he said, "This house is the house of my Father."
Good.
Now, you should know that
he was defending his father's house, right?
He was defending his father's house.
Good.
Now, as he was after defending his father's house, what happened? That same, he was not speaking about that physical house, because even if you remember, he was saying that this building, I would pull it down on the third day, I would build it, and they were shocked. So at the end of the day, Jesus Christ was beaten, done all kinds of things to. And he did not respond. Now, the greatest response he gave was love. And that's why I said, if you read about the Bible story, it's so beautiful. But you can't, when you face reality, you throw the Bible away. And that is what is happening to you now. Mr. Lucky, you are facing reality. You are throwing the Bible away.
No. Throwing which Bible?
No, what I mean is,
I'll explain something.
You can't live reality within the context of the Bible.
Can I say something? I want you to understand that right now, this is not just me.
Yeah.
The people on the media that are saying all these lies, they are entirely false.
Yeah.
They are not just attacking me. Look around you. There are people
staff,
here.
brand, everything. Yes.
There are people who also work remotely too. Some people's sources of income are tied to this whole thing. What we do is, this is like a well where people from different cultures come to fetch water. And these people are poisoning this water, and people are asking me to keep quiet and ignore them. I wouldn't do that. These whole people, they've been doing this since last year, but I kept quiet. I said God was going to handle it. It became and maybe because they noticed that I'm somebody who is gentle and somebody who is quiet, they decided that, this is the perfect person to ride on. And that is why they keep on doing all these things. Looking at Skype, you can see he was so comfortable to lie. And he even kept on lying even much more. And that's because he has understood the kind of person he's trying to pull his leg. So what I'm doing right now is not just to protect my name.
Yeah.
It's to protect this brand. I'm not posting on social media for a particular reason. Even this interview, I won't post it now. Because the moment I start posting, people will begin to bully my guest. Because of the assumption they have about this brand. And I need to fight to clear it if I must move forward and make sure that the purpose of every episode here that I film is achieved. I understand a lot of people love me, people are defending me, but I want people to know that those things are lie, and that is why every single one of these persons must be persecuted according to the law. Yeah. I have lawyers right now who are going to do the necessary step. They'll be reported to the Department of State Security, and the police will also be charging them to court to provide evidence. Yeah. So if you don't use them, for example, others will not learn.
No, you have a point.
I don't have anything against somebody who wants to use social media to call people out. You can if somebody calls me out for something bad I did, I'm an adult. I'll come out and explain why I did it. Yeah. I can apologize if what I did was wrong. But maybe from the point where I was doing that thing, I didn't see it was wrong. But not when you are coming out to say false things against me.
You are right.
And from the point where God has kept me, a lot of people look up to me for so many things. So if people are coming to me now that they want help for so many reasons, it becomes even very difficult for anybody to trust because of how people have spoiled my name. So anybody who is telling me to fold my arms and just let God like
Mr. Lucky, like me, I think my if I were in your shoe, like I said, I'm not saying fold your hand and watch.
Yeah,
I am saying just keep moving.
No.
What I mean is why I said you keep moving. You see, in human behavior.
Yeah.
Let me give you a story. I'm very close to Showore. I'm of the TIB movement. Now, I know all kinds of allegations that brought up against him when he started, hitting down to the FCT minister. Now, and the other day, recently, we had a meeting and we're all laughing. You know why?
Yeah.
You know why? Your head is above the waters. The brand Lucky, and that's why it's a system. The people that are doing it, they're only hanging on it for survival. And the survivor will not last because, it's just like when, if you look at cow, if you see these Fulani guys going with cow, there are these birds that hang around on the cow. So that's what they are doing. But what you take in is greater than what they are taking from you. And
now,
look,
sir,
they won't survive it.
That's
the
good.
truth. They
now,
won't survive
Sowore is doing something very different. Okay? You see, this kind of attack is something one has to take serious. For example, I respect the work Sowore does. I respect the work Very Dark Man do. These people are fighting for the common masses.
Yes.
But many times Very Dark Man reacts to news and react to things more than he gets himself involved with people's cases. For example, in a day, I can be dealing with 6 people, 7. Yes, sometimes here can be so busy. Everybody wants to share their story. Do you understand me? So when you now come with false allegation that me and Lucky planned everything together, that kind of a thing will not only just ruin my reputation, it will also affect the future of everybody that will come through me.
Okay.
I've had to interview people that the governor will call through his special assistant that the person we just posted, they are interested in him. This has happened many times, but the public doesn't know.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? I have people that watch this content.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So the moment a video is now posted after this period, and maybe because these people might be busy, they call them governors, but they have time. They do see things.
Yeah,
sometimes they send things to them personally.
Yeah.
And then they watch it. Then somebody say, this guy, I heard that all these things is fake.
But
tell me if he's going to show interest. So this fight is not just for me alone.
Yeah,
it is not even just for the brand and all the people that have to depend on it, but it is also for the future of our objective.
Yes.
What we intend to be doing. So
okay, let me give you an instance. I came in here. I was served water, and nobody told me what to say. Nobody. I did the montage, the introduction, and all of that downstairs with the cameraman.
Yeah.
So you see, even when before I got the invitation or before I said I'm coming here, I had known you, and whatever anybody was saying, it was not making sense.
But do you know that it makes sense to a lot of people?
Because you see, let me. This is what I tell myself. There was a time. I told myself that look, self-love is golden. I can't go from person to person explaining myself, because when I resigned, a lot of things happened. Say don't manner. I slept with this. I did that. And reality, we expose everybody. Our people said it is at the junction the road divides. So at this point, I love what you are doing, Sky B and Co. Of course, they were parasites. They just wanted to survive on this thing you are doing, but they don't go. They don't feel now.
I know they feel.
So for me,
we'll also take action too.
Okay.
Because those lies are just too serious. Do you understand me? They are just too serious.
No, honestly, it's
somebody
really
made another person. I said this is a coordinated conspiracy. Made a 1-hour video on YouTube saying that Lucky Udu is a 419 activist or something. And whether you like it or not, there are people who, can I tell you, that was nominated for an award in the US.
Wow, I love that.
Do you understand me? So when people now, if the committee decides to go do investigation to find out who is this Lucky that has been recommended for an award, because what we do on our platform, we share a lot of human stories. I don't just set my camera and start telling you something about history. I sit with the person gone and I listen to their story. And by doing this, I am creating history.
Yes.
So a lot of people in Nigeria are not so educated to know the value of the Lucky Udo experience. But there are people who know these things, and I was nominated for an award.
Wow, I love that.
Now, if the committee decides to do these investigations and they search on those platforms, and then they see all these allegations, that will compromise the whole idea of giving me this award, because their brand do not want to also identify
with.
Do you understand?
No,
and it's not just
understand.
that. Before this happened, maybe I'm not even supposed to say it. Okay, at the age of 24, I got my honorary doctorate. I just finished from Elizabeth University. I was also appointed director of youth sensitization. It is unfortunate that Nigerians made caricature of me because I was giving platform, I will explain, to old artists. But what people don't know is that this guy is also educated though. As director of youth sensitization, my duty was to help the President Buhari to carry out youth sensitization through the office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President and then Nigerian Youth Congress. Recently, my president reached out to me that he wants to bring me back into the system.
Wow.
And we are going to meet. He messaged me on Monday that he's going to send me that we are going to meet that week. That he wants to. There's something he wants me to come in. Just on Monday, when he told me that on Monday I'm going to tell you when we'll meet. This video got posted on Tuesday.
Wow.
And then somebody will tell me, relax. Relax.
Now,
For
let
what?
me give you an.
Like,
Let me. I remember a young
when
boy.
people don't have anything to lose,
One
then
of-
they can relax.
Mr. Lucky, one of our young guys in TIB, he created a content. I think you even interviewed him. Was talking about the senator, allegation on the senator and the wife. Now,
Who is this person?
what's the name of this guy again? That alleged that
Okay, Tuma.
Tuma.
Okay.
Now, if you see, he was just looking for content.
Yeah.
So even when that happened, among us, we knew that this guy is after content. But for the fact that the process that was used to arrest him was wrong, we had to stand by him. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So for me, the same thing I want to say. These people know that what they are doing is just content, and for you, of course, they need to clear their clear their name. Yeah.
No, of course, but then at the expense of what? If I was a comedian, I would care less.
Yeah.
I'll still be making my funny comedies. But let me tell you, when these people came out first, they made a video that if Lucky do post you, your own don't go. Now, do you know that whenever I post somebody, they were bullying all my guests? That people sometimes they'll even come to their DM to bully them. That this guy don't put. So I kept quiet.
You are a threat.
So I kept quiet
Yeah,
through all this because, in fact, what I said in my heart was that Gege doesn't know what he's doing.
No, yeah.
He's still young and he doesn't know the impact of what he's doing. But you see, at this point, I can't keep quiet anymore.
Yeah.
So every possible channel that I can,
Yes.
I'm going to use to address it.
No, it's
This
okay.
is not even about social media anymore. This is a deliberate attack against my
Your
life.
person and yeah.
Do you understand? So I don't care about any form of. Although people have told me I should just forget about it. Very dark man. So many other people say I should just let it go. But what I'm doing is different.
Yes.
Especially that I know that I have plans to continue this for a long time.
Yes.
If I was doing food reviews, you think I would care less? What do I care? If I was somebody who just bring out my phone and just be saying, okay, something is going on social media right now. We just heard that so person did so something. Do you understand? So you think I would care less? But this is human stories.
Yeah, human stories.
And then somebody came out to say, oh, everything was planned, which is never done. Why would I plan something like
for
that?
What?
So if I now post somebody's story tomorrow, somebody will say, yes, this guy did.
But if you look at it, you've been telling this story for a long time.
Yeah.
Why must it that it's just him? You see
Can I share something that happened to you?
You see that?
So one of my staff sent me a voice message, sent me something. Somebody that I once interviewed, I think last year or this year, he said somebody reached out to him and promised him 300,000 if he can come out and grant an interview with him that everything he said
was a
is
lie.
a lie. And that the
work.
money that people sent to him, that I took it from him.
Oh, blackmail.
Do you understand? So I have the voice record and everything. So the thing is that, and again, one lawyer told me that they even created a group chat one time in the eastern part of Nigeria, that they were going through every single person that I've interviewed, trying to find out if there was any one of them that have said, okay, this is what you come to social media and say. Or that anybody have taken, thank God. See, whatever I have today is from hard work.
Hard work, yes.
I never used even one cope. Do you know my biggest regret now? Which I had a meeting. I was just coming from a meeting, so I'm going to be restructuring everything. The idea of fundraising is something that I will still continue, but I won't be doing it the way people have done it.
Yes.
There are so many things I won't say now, but I'm going to release an official statement to the public.
Good.
I don't care what public opinion is.
No, don't.
This is how we move. This is how we operate moving forward. If you like it, you don't like it, it's none of the business.
No.
The most important thing is that we are creating value for people. I said I rescued a 12-year-old girl that was about to be married to a 50-year-old man in Benue State.
I think I saw that story, if I'm not.
And then the governor started calling. Everybody was calling. All these noisemakers on social media, they have never used their platform to do anything.
To impact the society.
In Enugu State, I documented a story where I raised awareness that there's a community where all the old people are blind.
Wow. Yes, I remember that story.
Children are not going to school, they are malnourished. Teenagers are getting pregnant, having multiple children. The government have abandoned these people. After I posted that story, Do you understand what happened?
Yeah.
The government started reaching out. They started building boreholes, started giving children scholarship. People started donating. Do you understand? They started giving free medical outreach. What about in Delta State that I created one awareness? In the next day, the Delta State government did a press release, addressed the issue. The longest traffic in Nigeria, that traffic disappeared in 2 days' time. So I can't go on and on to talk about all the things that I've done. It's unfortunate that people forget these things. And right now, sir, you won't understand my thing. In all this,
the day, this time of this interview is very short. The day you know me, you will know that this guy, what you have seen. I told you, do you know presently, my children, I don't have access to my children.
Why?
Fine. The church structure, they all label me that I've left God, I've left the cover. So the children now, they demonize me. These were children I raised for 15 years. For my 5 children, I did babysitting for all of them. So of course, they divorce this thing, they gave joint custody. But the children will stay with my ex, which I accepted. But now, during holiday, children will come visit me. She shut all of that. Now, Tinan, I don't even know where the children live. I tried publicly, I wrote an appeal, children reach out to me and all of that. So for me, of course, I remarried.
How old are your kids?
My first daughter is 20. And the second daughter, I think, don't mind me when I say I think, is 18 and down to the last child. So, but I told myself, Abraham, move on. These children, they know deep down that you love them, because I so much took care of my children and my family to a point where other people started envying the way I was taking care of them. So for me, some of these people will always throw tantrums. It is normal. When you are good, you are good. Why Mr. Lucky? That's the question you should ask yourself. And so for me, I love it when they throw stone. You carry it and build a castle and just let them be there crying. The pain is on them, not you.
At least let us find a way to teach one or two of them a lesson, so
absolutely
others can learn, because social media is becoming so toxic that I think I heard recently that somebody commented on one of P Square's posts.
And he went for them. He went for the person.
He said these things are happening every day. Somebody can just comment anything thinking that they can go away with it.
They'll cruise. They call it cruise.
It is not supposed to be. Even to my guy, I had to take some time. I advised him.
Yeah.
I say, you want to destroy your future.
Advice, yes.
You want to destroy your future, trust me. People don't care so much about you. You have to think properly about what you want to do. So I spoke to him. So I feel like there's so much work to be done on social media. And personally, with this experience that's happened, I'm going to take it personally to start advocating against things like this. I'll start creating all the awareness that I can to let people know that these are the actions you can take. If somebody, not that you can't come to social media, there's free speech, but don't come around to say things that
are not true.
It's very, very wrong.
Whatever free speech, be able to defend your free speech.
You can't do that. You're now coming up with lies. That's totally unacceptable. It's unfortunate that we started this with a question about your faith, and now we are talking about me. I'm so sorry.
It shows how important you are. You see, I as a person, I was worried, because especially though I'm not an emotional person, but when I saw you sharing tears, I felt so pain. I said, anything go make man. Easy.
Sir, those people they think say cry, they don't know what I've done.
Nobody, easy.
You don't understand what it. Let me tell you, all the things I was doing for these people was my personal money.
Stress.
How many organizations in Nigeria, how many people can boast that it is their personal fund that they are using to travel around helping everybody? Do you understand what that pain is? And at the end of the day, somebody will now accuse you of stealing money, which is entirely false. I mean, I wish for all this money I was spending, I was actually taking something from them. I really, really wish.
No.
I don't even think. Do you know how?
You see, Mr. Lucky. You see one thing. Let me be very honest with you. Your nature is your nature. You can never change it.
I want to change it though.
You can't. You see,
okay, see.
I not me and you did this. Okay. I go remind you.
No,
and because you see, what makes lucky is this nature that you possess. And you go through pain, you go through all this, but Lucky will keep thriving, because Lucky is a system now. like you said, the whole thing about this thing is not just
if
about.
you even look at all these content creators, none of them have. See, if you see somebody,
What about impact? They don't have impact.
then, apart from
Direct impact on the people.
Now, this is a guy that confessed on social media that he was a former Yahoo boy. This is somebody that have never attempted to build anything solid. These are people that have no value for school, the educational system.
Nothing.
They have no value for the principles of achieving success, building personal development. It's just unfortunate that they'll rub white powder on their body, come out on social media, bend their leg in a certain way, and it will amuse people. And they'll smile to the bank. And this is the kind of society we are building.
And that's
you
why,
know, and it's so worrisome. And when somebody like this come out on social media to say something, people will take it seriously. In fact, I've lost my disrespect for so many people. There are so many people, elderly people, like, I don't want to mention their name. They are very influential. I've lost my disrespect for this because the more of this kind of people that follow those kinds of people, the more our society will continue to decay.
No, you're right. You're right.
You see a father that has children in this thing in maybe England, children in a prestigious university studying to create real value, but on the end go through his follow list. You see the kind of people he's following, people that are menace to society,
people that are not adding value.
And then somehow when these people follow me back, they expect me to be excited. They expect me to come to their DM and be like, thank you for following. What should I be grateful for following me for?
You know,
it doesn't make sense.
No value.
You discover that, to be honest, sometimes this life doesn't make sense. The kind of people who actually get successful, become influential, who hold leadership positions, they are not even supposed to be there.
Like I was talking behind the scene, and I told your secretary, or so the person I met, I said, one thing I review as a person is my motive. Why do I do what I do? Because most of the things you see, most of these young boys we see, what is making them do what is money, car. After all of that, what next? So your platform is adding real value. You check out your platform. There are few platforms in Africa, in Nigeria, that is doing what you are doing. So for me,
and nobody's even doing it with the speed that the speed.
So look at the records are there. So for me, man, be strong. Whatever that is happening,
I am. If
I think for me, it's another phase.
Strong, I will even get to this point if I wasn't strong.
Yeah, it's
I am.
phase.
But then somebody would think that crying means weakness.
No, it's not weakness.
It's not weakness.
Do you know what I told somebody? You see, we in our society, we don't have platform where people express themselves. Sometimes you let them express yourself. Cry if you want to cry. If you need to jump. If you need to slap somebody, even though you know.
If you need to break a bottle,
break, but don't break it on somebody's head. No, if that's your best way of venting, expressing yourself, and it's good. You have not broken bottle on anybody's head. You are just expressing your pain and feeling. So for me, Mr. Lucky, I'm happy to be here. So please, we need you. Yeah, nobody can. We all need you. We all need you.
Thank you very much. I hope that at the end of the day, God will continue to help us because it's difficult. And sir, I want us to make another video. Personally, it's going to be a very short one, not in the Lucky Udo experience. It's going to be outdoor where we just sit. And we'll just talk about certain experience. We'll just make it short videos.
No problem.
Do you understand? You used to be a pastor, you headed a church. What happened to you? So you just wrap it up, explain, small ones too.
No problem.
And we can address a lot of things.
But
I'm not saying we are going to use you to start influencing people.
No.
Because, I mean, it's people's choice to decide if they believe God exists or not. But the idea is to share your story in a way that Christians can understand some of the struggles that their brothers and sisters battle with. Because I had an interview with a pastor that talked about why he was a pastor, he struggled so hard. Now, everybody's struggle might not have to be with finances. But there were so many things he talked about. And to be honest, nobody really sees it.
Let me tell you, Mr. Lucky, when I was a pastor, some of the things I have seen pastor go through, to be honest with you, I felt so pained. As a pastor, I have seen pastors that were sick. Nobody cared about them. They have to struggle to preach and return back for medication. I've also seen pastors that struggle to pay children's school fees, and they come publicly to smile. And do you know the funny part of my story? When I left Christianity, they bullied me. They kept bullying me instead of them to love me. So for me, there's a way you can even love somebody unto salvation. But,
Yeah.
but do you know, if you come to my space, oh, you are bitter because you are a failure.
Also, thank you.
Can you see?
Sir,
So
please.
Christians even don't know how to relate at all.
Let's write this down.
Yeah.
We'll talk. This is
I'm telling you.
very important.
Christians don't know
Some
how to
of
relate.
the people Christians are no. We need to address some of these
They
things.
don't at
There
all.
are certain things that are expected as Christians, and this is not one of the. To be honest, what you just said makes sense.
What? Do you know,
Because-
sir? All my network. That is, you know. To be honest, I don't. It just by the way, do you know that I job opportunities? I will have an opportunity. Someone will say, no, this guy is not a Christian, doesn't believe in God. Somebody will now said, I would have helped you, but because you don't believe in God. Like, whoa. So why not help me? Maybe that love you show me will prove to me that no, I think there is God. You are shutting me down to prove.
Please, come on, be writing all this down.
You know.
Do you understand?
Yeah, it's so funny, you know. You
Since
Christians are so.
Since he was no longer a pastor, you understand me. Well, he was, everything. No, brothers and sisters, this conversation is very, very important. I want this to be like a mirror. I want you to see yourself through this conversation.
Yeah.
How some of you must have treated others. Maybe not literally, but even online. Some of you are always in a haste to like certain comments, to express certain things in the comment section, but you don't know that all these things are going in a way to make things worse for other people. So if you see someone like this, you don't insult them. You try to find out why they are the way they are, what they might have experienced, that thing. And this is what we do here at Lucky You Do Experience. You are not just, this platform is not to chase clout or to come out and say, oh, somebody is now an atheist. No, but to find out what exactly happened to him. Where did life go wrong with this man? Do you understand me? And for sharing this story, we want people to be educated and to also attract help too, because these things are very important. That is the whole concept of the Lucky You Do Experience. It's just kind of unfortunate that we've not been able to document the way I expected. But trust me, expect a part 2, because I want to ensure that thing must be achieved. I'm not saying this in the sense of maybe he needs help financially. No, that's not it. Sometimes people need companionship. Sometimes people need a pat in their back. Life can be so overwhelming. It's hard to even believe in God, especially that we've never really experienced him physically. It is true faith. And for how long? It is within common sense that when somebody says, I don't believe anymore, you should understand to an extent where they are coming from. But then, strong people stand up for themselves, but stronger people stand up for others. So we should be able to stand up for people like this and maybe, help them to broaden their horizon. They understand, maybe shift their perspective. This is just my own this thing.
No,
So, sir, would it be okay for I'm planning to travel, because this whole thing, I want to ensure that I bring these guys to book in every possible way that I can. So I'm planning to make my travels. I'm speaking with some people and trying to, because all these things are forced, so I have to clear my name.
Yes.
So I'm planning to travel, but I don't know when I'll be back.
Okay, no problem.
So if I am back, I would like us to make some videos.
No problem.
We'll just sit quietly.
No wahala.
We'll just discuss. We can take a walk while talking.
Yes, perfect.
You understand?
Perfect.
We'll just dedicate the whole day for you, maybe.
Yeah.
But we'll write down everything that we tend to achieve.
Okay.
And we have to make as many videos, because these videos, I want pastors to see it.
Okay.
I want young people to watch and learn. I want everybody to see. I want it to go far.
Yeah.
I want people to really understand. And, it's not like you are trying to influence people.
No.
I just want you to be focused on sharing your personal experience. And you don't have to sugarcoat it. You don't have to make it look perfect. You don't have to, you don't have to talk about or be defensive. If you made mistakes, say it.
Absolutely.
Do you understand me? So, me, I believe that God still loves you. And I'm not of the opinion that maybe there are people who go to hell. I always believe that if there is something like heaven, who do you think is righteous enough to be there? Because the humans have experienced, no one is perfect enough to be there. Some men that are so great and mighty, they are spiritually rooted, they are very arrogant. Is there an arrogant person that will be there? Some people, as much as they are high, some of them have spirit of envy. Some people, they are narcissists. They want to believe that they are better than every other person. So think about the kinds of people you think who qualify to be in heaven. I don't think we humans qualify to be there. But if there's a place where every child of God will be, I believe that you and I will all be there together.
Wow.
And I don't think I'm just.
I think Mr. Lucky, you're almost a pastor. You are preaching already.
I'm not preaching.
While we are talking, I've been trying to decode the church you attend. Let me just leave that.
I never attend church, to be honest. Though.
No, not just church. You know, there are materials you are open to. You may not be physically in a church, but there are materials you are open to, or books you are open to.
I'm even trying now, right now, because this thing that happened, I'm telling myself maybe it's happening because I'm not as close to God as I used to. Maybe God is trying to bring me back to Him.
But people that are very close to God, this happened. Even Jesus Christ, it happened to Him. So for me, you are good. You are good. No wahala. Don't bother yourself. Just you are good, sir.
It is well. So, sir, what do you do at the moment?
Yeah, man. What shall I say? I just take life one step at a time. At the moment, I'm not doing anything. I love writing. I just try to do what will make me happy. Because since I love the church cycle, to be honest with you, I lost the car I had. If not, then I was using it for both. Uber
How
both.
did you lose it?
Okay. The first case that happened, they were following me up to arrest me. I didn't even know. So along Idu train station, I had an accident. I hit Hilos ahead of me. I was making call. That's the truth. I was making call. I hit the Hilos. So they met me there, and I pleaded with the man that hit. In summary, they arrested me there. Then that car was on hire purchase. I was paying every week. So when they detained me from there to Suleja Correctional Facility, I lost the car because if you don't pay for 2 weeks, you lose the car. So I lost it. And when I came out, of course, they called me for reconciliation. They said we should settle at FCID, the one at Area 10. They called for the meeting, and they said, what do I want? I told them they should replace my car. They saw what happened. It was because of them I lost the car. And I asked them, what do they want? They said I should delete my Facebook account because it was most of the story I share was on my platform there, and it angered them. So I said, okay. Right there and then, to tell you how open and simple I am, I deleted immediately. Because
did they now give the
no, they didn't.
They didn't meet their own side of
they
the
didn't.
party.
Till now, they didn't. And with the last meeting, they even, do you know, in 2023, they wrote a petition to the DSS, the one at Asokoro. They invited me there. I honored the invitation. You know, when DSS invite you, they call it interview. They put 3 cameras with lights on you. You know, those guys are very smart. And I narrated my story. They were so pained. They said they will get back to them. The last time I met at the court, when the recent arrest, I met one of the DSS person. He said, what are you doing? I said the same thing. He said, no, we told him, replace this guy's car for him. Because he honored his part, and you guys. So for me, and that's why when we talk about church and Christians, I tell people it's even Christians that are persecuting us. So right now I'm not doing anything, but I know, of course, if they ask me what can you do, of course I can drive very well. If I have a car, I do my boats, make money. Of course, I have a passion to have a studio like yours, even if it is not where people come tell their stories. Because I title it Crude and Cruise, where people come tell their story, share your story. Because I want to be your baby boy, baby picking, we're going to learn, So for me, that's my core vision. But for now, we just keep hoping and hope that things will get better and better.
And it will get better.
Thank you so much.
And I hope that in everything you've done those past months, I really don't even know the case you have with them, to be very honest.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many things I don't know about,
yes.
and I also don't know it personally.
Yeah.
But I hope that if there's anything wrong you've done, may God forgive, let His mercy be put forward, and I believe in second chances. May God bring people who be interested to, assist you, connect to you
Yeah.
on the level where you can accept them, accommodate them, understand them, confine with them, and work with them. I hope this is. I pray this is what happens,
Yeah.
and may God help you. So we'll plan to do those videos.
No problem.
And for now, it will be posted. I'll only start posting once I've been able to go to an extent with this. I just want to find out from Skyby if everything he said he was paid to say them or he was influenced to say them. That is all. So once I've been able to clear my name to that extent, I can start posting. I'm only trying to protect my guests.
Yes.
And everything, because if I don't do this, whatever happened before will continue to happen, and that will also affect other people who have plans to also come here too. So that's why for now I'm not really working.
Yeah.
I'm just focused on chasing this case. So sir,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for sharing your story.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so sorry guys, this interview didn't go the way as expected. We went back and forth.
Yeah.
But trust me, we'll plan something else, okay?
Yeah,
and I'll be making short videos with him. That'll be uploaded on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. He's gonna be tagged as well, where he can share his real raw experience and story. Do you understand me? And we don't use this platform to defame people or to chase clout or to say what to trigger public interest. The idea is to share natural real experience, and that's exactly what you guys would see once we filmed everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
As usual, this interview started with a question, and I will have left you with something to think about. Thank you so much for watching this very episode of the Lucky Udo Experience. The audio version is going to be uploaded on Spotify, so go to Spotify right now, search the Lucky Udo Experience. Make sure you're following us there so you don't miss our future upload. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And sir, I really appreciate your coming here.
Thank you so much.
We usually don't put our guest name in the video. Would you like to introduce yourself right now?
Okay.
We don't say it in the beginning.
Okay.
Just like to go direct to the
I
point.
noticed that. I noticed the way you eat me back.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, my name is Abraham Daniel, ex-pastor, ex-Christian, and now a humanist. And like Mr. Lucky said, he called me an atheist. But I think it's okay. Thank you so much.
It is for now. Let us see how this will go. But in all this, you don't have to be angry when somebody comes to this conclusion. Some people have been calling on God for so long, and maybe they've never really had that experience that some of you have had. It's different for everybody. It's not the same. So we should try to meet people with compassion. And I'm not doing the work of God apparently. I'm just saying this as a human. Do you understand? So when you see somebody who feels like they don't believe anymore, you don't meet them with destruction, but instead you try to be compassionate, try to understand their story, understand where exactly went wrong, and that part of you, your own experience with God that person doesn't have, you can try to meet them, try to maybe meet them in that way, and maybe the world will be a better place. So this is my advice, and thank you so much at this juncture. We have to say goodbye to the viewers.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir, and bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.